Hey guys, this is kind of funny because I had a really terrible day and I came home and I was like, why do I feel like doing a movie review when I don't even know what movie to talk about and I'm not in the mood for it, but yet I feel like I am. So this review is going to be a little different, so let's roll the clip and let's get started. Okay, so now that that's over with, basically this is almost like a test review because I just got a new lighting setup. Usually I sit in a chair and I'm standing here and Indiana Jones is creeping over my shoulder here. So it's a little different, but I'm experimenting and trying stuff. So I'm going to quickly rush through this movie review. It's funny because I'm not doing a movie review, I am doing a trilogy review. And the trilogy is Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. I was looking at my list of movies and I was like, okay, what movie can I do that can be fast and quick enough to just get through in like a 5-minute review? And then I was like, oh, do a trilogy. Yeah, so do 3 movies instead of 1 and try and cut it down to a 5-minute review. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 1, Peter Parker gets bitten by a radioactive spider and ends up fighting his best friend's father, who goes like completely crazy and evil. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man is still in love with Mary Jane, but not sure, things are going well or whatever, and he ends up having to fight a crazy guy who was his mentor originally, who he really looked up to. Spider-Man 3, he ends up fighting his best friend now. That's hilarious. Spider-Man's got a kind of bad life, but that's the basic plot of those 3 movies. Now I'm basically gonna just talk about what I like about the movies. I saw these movies when I was younger, like 12, 13, and I hadn't seen any superhero films up to that point. Avengers wasn't out yet, Captain America wasn't out yet, Thor, Iron Man. Well, Iron Man was, but I hadn't seen it. The Spider-Man movies were the first movies to kind of like get the superhero genre back and going without, Superman flying around the world and reversing time kind of hokiness that those movies had. So like I said, I saw these when I was younger. I think the first one I saw was Spider-Man 2. And I saw Spider-Man 1 and then Spider-Man 3. And I will say to this day, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite and I think it's the strongest film of the trilogy. And Tobey Maguire's performance is fantastic in the movie. It's a great movie about love and how it can affect you emotionally. And it basically ends up taking away his powers because he's so anxiety-ridden over loving this girl that he doesn't think he's good enough for. It's essentially like a romance movie, but it's got heart. It's got a good story. The action is really good. The special effects are really good. It's all around a really good movie, and it doesn't just rely on action and violence to get its point across. For the longest time, it was on my top 10 favorite movies of all time until it got booted off the list because of some other movies, whatever. I would definitely recommend watching Spider-Man 2. I own the Blu-ray, and it's fantastic. Spider-Man 1 is a good movie, and I believe it was filmed in like 1998 or 1999. So it was actually filmed on film instead of digitally. And some of the special effects still hold up to this day, and it's pretty impressive. We all know the story. Peter gets bitten by a radioactive spider and turns into Spider-Man. So it's a good movie, but it's not essential to watch. But if you're going to watch them, I would suggest watching all of them anyway, but it's not like you have to see it to understand the other ones. And last but not least, Spider-Man 3. This one gets a lot of hate because it kind of like stuck a bunch of villains in and didn't really get their characters right, and it just is very cartoonish. I still actually enjoy this movie, and I don't understand why, because sometimes like I'll be like, let's watch Spider-Man 3, and it's like, well, why? I don't know. There's something about it that I like. Maybe it's the directing style. I don't know, because there's a bunch of parts that are just overall like terrible, yet I still love watching it. I don't know. Watch the Spider-Man trilogy. They're really good movies. They got strong morals in them. The content, wow, there's like bugs flying around or something. The content is pretty family friendly if you can handle some violence and a little innuendo here and there maybe. I mean, it's not terrible, but I would recommend these movies. Obviously, I own them, and I think they're an important trilogy to add to your superhero collection if you do that, or just a movie collection. It's a pretty strong trilogy, in my opinion. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie. This feels so weird because I'm standing in front of a giant, like, 3x3 light fixture that I just got, and it's super bright, and I'm standing. So I'll throw up a picture, and you can see what I'm talking about. So, plus, like I said, I didn't even feel like doing a review today, and I just did a whole trilogy review in under 10 minutes. This is like, I think from now on, when I'm having a bad and emotional day, I should just do movie reviews, because I can buzz through them in super fast time. So, maybe that's what we'll end up doing. Comment below on what you think about my new setup, if you like it or not, about your thoughts on the Spider-Man trilogy, if you've seen it. What's your favorite trilogy of all time? I'm not sure I have a favorite trilogy of all time. Dark Knight trilogy is fantastic, the Captain America trilogy is fantastic, and the Indiana Jones trilogy, those movies are fantastic as well. I will eventually do those, but that's for another day. And like and share my videos, because I'm trying to get more people to watch them. If you guys have a specific movie that you want me to review that I haven't done already, put that in the comments as well, because I'm open to hearing suggestions and watching movies and doing reviews on them. And as always, if you watch one of my reviews and there's something in it that you find objectionable, don't get mad at me. Look up the content first and decide what you want to do. You've been through this before. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.